Now, I guess it's time to get to the politics portion of this stream, because I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but there was a debate the other day between people doing stuff. I don't remember. It gets confusing. Let me see if I'm sure somebody's got a really good highlight reel on here. So if you're not familiar with debate, I'm sure we can get a solid highlight reel going on.
Presidential candidates Kamala Harris and Donald Trump meeting on the debate stage for the first time.
Kamala Harris. Let's have a good debate.
See you. Have fun.
Thank you.
The vice president walking to the former president's.
I did think that was interesting. So yeah, I guess he was just going to ignore her. It was weird. Like, did you not even look up and know she was coming over to shake your hand? It seems weird. But yeah, you notice throughout the thing he doesn't really look at her throughout the whole thing.
Podium to shake his hand in Philadelphia, the two standing just 6 feet apart. From the start, the gloves were off.
Tonight, you're going to hear from the same old tired playbook, a bunch of lies, grievances, and name-calling.
Trump punching back.
She's a Marxist. Everybody knows she's a Marxist. Her father's a Marxist professor in economics, and he taught her well.
And in case you're wondering, the moment where he decided to call her a Marxist was the moment where I said, oh, he's already going off the rails. And it gets so much worse very quickly from this. Very, very quickly from this, it gets so much worse. But when he's like calling her a Marxist and it's like 35 minutes into debate, I'm like, already? Already? Like, you don't have any substantial? You're just going to call her a Marxist? Jesus.
Well,
the stakes could not be higher for tonight's debate. The two candidates locked in a dead heat in polls. The economy and inflation on the top of American voters' minds. Trump laying the blame on the Harris and Biden administration.
we have inflation like very few people have ever seen before, probably the worst in our nation's history.
I was kind of hoping for just debate highlights. Let's see if there's a different one. See what the Guardian does.
Kamala Harris. Let's have a good debate.
See you. Have fun.
Thank you.
Welcome to you both. It's wonderful to have you. It's an honor to have you both here tonight.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment since the Great Depression. Donald Trump left us the worst public health epidemic in a century. You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal.
This is a great fucking moment. This is great how she does this. I'll discuss it when we see it, but oh my God, this is...
Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom.
People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. And the people that do go, she's bussing them in and paying them to be there. She has a plan to confiscate everybody's gun.
President Trump,
she has a plan.
Tim Walz.
This is going through a lot very quickly, but like, so, I want to see something with a bit more meat to it. This is going through it way too fast. So it's either too fast or too slow. Can we get like a good medium?
She doesn't have a plan. She copied Biden's plan, and it's like 4 sentences, like run, spot, run. 4 sentences that are just, oh, we'll try and lower taxes. She doesn't have a plan. Take a look at her plan. She doesn't have a plan.
I believe in the ambition, the aspirations, the dreams of the American people. And that is why I imagine and have actually a plan to build what I call an opportunity economy. Because here's the thing. We know that we have a shortage of...
I will say, so this is kind of her answer to the economic question. She was asked, you've had, the Biden administration's had 4 years to rebuild the economy. Do you think you've done a good job? Frankly, my response to that is the economy has been shit. It's been shit. But a lot of that is because of Trump. A lot of people, like, you want to talk about record inflation? The big thing to talk about is how Trump dumped like $1 trillion a day into the stock market to keep it afloat when the pandemic first shut everything down. Like, we can talk about the checks that were handed out to people. We can talk about that all day long. And, did it have an impact? Sure. Sure, of course it does. All that stuff does. But when he's dumping money into the stock markets, it's essentially giving rich people more money just to keep the stock markets afloat. That's going to impact the economy a lot more. And we've been dealing with that. And, Has Biden done everything he can to make it better? Not even close. But is it slowly inching better? Yeah. Yeah, I feel a bit less stressed than I did, honestly, even a few months ago. It's slowly getting there, but it was rough. It is rough. But I will say, she was asked how she feels they've done over the past 4 years, and her response was to immediately redirect into her plan to work with the economy. So, like, she's not directly answering the questions that she was asked. She can be criticized for that. She wasn't directly answering the question she was asked. She's at least talking about something related. But yeah.
Homes and housing. And the cost of housing is too expensive for far too many people. We know that young families need support to raise their children, and I intend on extending a tax cut for those families of $6,000, which is the largest child tax credit that we have given in a long time. My opponent, on the other hand,
And that's something else. So Biden did get child tax credit passed during the COVID bill, and it expired after a year or two. And they haven't been able to get it back.
his plan is to do what he has done before, which is to provide a tax cut for billion.
Yeah, and Jennifer is 100% right. Like, the economy isn't going to magically fix itself. It takes time. You can't just, like, snap your fingers and boom, like, day one in office, I'm going to make the economy better. That's the problem. Like, people talk about how, like, Trump, the economy was great under Trump. And it's like, yeah, he was there for 4 years. So a lot of that would be what Obama did. Just saying.
Billionaires and big corporations, which will result in $5 trillion to America's deficit.
We're doing tariffs on other countries. Other countries are going to finally, after 75 years, pay us back for all that we've done for the world. Look, we've had a terrible economy because inflation which is really known as a country buster. It breaks up countries. We have inflation like very few people have ever seen before, probably the worst in our nation's history.
Yeah, it's almost like there was a once-in-a-century pandemic that came through and shut everything down. And then you dumped a fuck ton of money into the stock market just to keep the numbers up. Like, he wasn't even concerned. Like, keep in mind, when the country shut down, one of his first things was, let's dump money into the stock market, keep the numbers up. He was more concerned about the illusion of looking like everything's fine than actually making things fine. That's something to keep in mind with Trump.
We were at 21%, but that's being generous because many things are 50, 60, 70, and 80% higher than they were just a few years ago. They have, and she has, destroyed our country with policy that's insane. Almost policy that you'd say they have to hate our country. First of all, they bought their chips from Taiwan. We hardly make chips anymore because of philosophies like they have and policies like they have. I don't say her because she has no policy. Everything that she believed 3 years.
Yeah, she doesn't have policies. Meanwhile, he has concepts of plans. We'll get to that.
Years ago and 4 years ago is out the window. She's going to my philosophy now. In fact, I was going to send her a MAGA hat. She's gone to my philosophy. But if she ever got elected,
I will say, the beginning of the debate, in our criticism of Kamala Harris, I didn't think she was remotely as strong in the beginning. She actually felt a little bit unsure of herself. She got better. Yep, the kitty. Yeah, guys, kitty's back. Kitty's back. Hopefully I don't get hungry.
she change it, and it will be the end of our country. She's a Marxist. Everybody knows she's a Marxist. Her father's a Marxist
And like I was saying, that's the moment where it goes off the rails. This seems like a good compilation. This should work.
professor in economics, and he taught her well. But when you look at what she's done to our country, and when you look at these millions and millions of people that are pouring into our country monthly, where it's, I believe, 21 million people, not the 15 that people say, and I think it's a lot higher than the 21.
And he is so about fear-mongering about illegal immigration. And yeah, so much of this is about that. So much of his rhetoric is about that. And it's like, of all the issues in the world, illegal immigration, really? Really? Like, and that's the thing. That's what his rhetoric is. So, real quick, so much the issues with this country and people having so many issues, and you want to talk the economy, it's because we have absurdly rich people buying laws from lawmakers to make themselves richer. And Trump, is all about giving them that money. And what he does is he weaponizes, he otherizes other people. So like immigrants are easy because they're a group of people with no power. And it's easy to be like, they're the ones taking everything from you. When it's like, they have like nothing. And it's like, well, they're taking jobs. Well, true. Illegal immigrants can work for less, which is an issue. We should make sure that the rich people don't fucking pay them less. And then once everything's equal, as far as what they're getting paid, a lot of that stuff will equal out. But instead, rather than actually focus on issues, it's all about like villainizing them and making them the villain. And it's all mainly a campaign strategy, as I think Kamala Harris showed fairly clearly throughout this debate.
That's bigger than New York State pouring in. And just look at what they're doing to our country. They're criminals, many of these people coming in.
Yes, all illegal immigrants are criminals. Jesus Christ, bro. Dude, they aren't like people who are just looking for a better life somewhere. Yeah, they're all criminals. Great analysis. Yeah. It's just villainizing people. It's pretty gross, frankly.
Are criminals, and that's bad for our economy too. You mentioned before, we'll talk about immigration later. Well, bad immigration is the worst thing that can happen to our economy. They have, and she has, destroyed our country with policy that's insane. Almost policy that you'd say they have to hate our country.
And Trump.
Well, as I said, you're going to hear a bunch of lies, and that's not actually a surprising fact. Let's understand how we got here. Donald Trump hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade.
Yes, he did. Absolutely.
And they
Keep in mind, Anthony Scalia died during Obama's fourth year. He died during his 4th year, not during his lame duck period like the Republicans claimed. It was during his 4th year, and they were like, "Oh, you're not supposed to pick somebody during your lame duck period." It wasn't even his lame duck period. And even if it was his lame duck period, it didn't fucking matter. But Republicans, led by Mitch McConnell, held up that vote. And it was kind of assumed that Hillary would win, so like I don't think the Democrats fought too hard, not as hard as they should have, to get Merrick Garland in, but they didn't. And Merrick Garland was such a centrist pick anyway. But they didn't fight very hard because they were just like, well, Hillary will go in and then she will put him in. And then fucking Trump won. And then we got fucking Neil Gorsuch, and then we get fucking fucking crazy dude. What? I don't remember the other one. Well, there's 3. There's Amy Coney Barrett later. That was a replacement for Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And then, God, I can't think of the dude. All I'm thinking of the dude that was played by Matt Damon in Saturday Night Live sketch, which was really funny. But yeah, he had that calendar of all the weird shit he did.
And just look at my calendar. And you're gonna see that every night I was lifting weights with PJ and Squeak and Handsy Hank, Gangbang Greg, which, the liberal media is gonna find some way to spin.
Brett Kavanaugh. Thank you, Stanford. Brett Kavanaugh. They're awful. They're fucking awful. Add to it the fact that we already had Justices Clarence Thomas, who is awful. I don't remember the other older one that's on there. And then John Roberts, who is somehow the least awful of the Republicans, and he's a fucking George W. Bush pick, and he's pretty fucking awful as well, but somehow less awful in comparison to a lot of the other ones. It's fucking weird. The good news is the one I can't remember the name of, and Clarence Thomas, they're getting up there in age. So they may not be around. Those seats may come up during the next term. Another important reason to make sure Trump doesn't get back in there. And Jacob, that's a little bit off course, but yeah, I did see a trailer for the SNL biopic. It looks like it's probably supposed to be like a biopic about the airing of the first episode. Might be good. The cast choices definitely remind me a lot of the cast members. Might be good. It comes out next month. Back to the debate.
They did exactly as he intended. And now in over 20 states, there are Trump abortion bans, which make it criminal for a doctor or nurse to provide health care. In one state, it provides prison for life. Trump abortion bans that...
No, this whole the abortion debate I find absurdly frustrating. You know, obviously, I think if a child's capable of surviving outside the mother's body, then that child, you know, okay, I'm fine with giving that child autonomy. But anytime before then, it's the woman's body, and she should have the right to choose. Hell, when abortion came up in Ohio, year before last, I want to say I think it was a year before last. Yeah, I of course said yes, we should have that legal. That should be available to women. But I felt weird voting for it because it's like, I'm a dude. What do I have to say about a woman's body? I guess I have to say that women should do what they wish with their body. I find this whole argument fucking bizarre. Women have a right to their body. It's that fucking simple.
Make no exception even for rape and incest, which understand what that means. A survivor of a crime of violation to their body does not have the right to make a decision about what happens to their...
Yep, it outlawed it. It was up to the states, and yeah, lots of states have it outlawed. It's insane.
Their body next. That is immoral. And one does not have to abandon.
Oh, yeah, and I just want to add, fucking Kamala Harris, I'm interrupting her too much, but she nails this answer. You know, I'll play a bit, I'll rewind it a little bit, and we can see Kamala Harris's full answer, because, like, she fucking nails this one. And this is one that Joe Biden fucked up on so royally in the last debate.
Eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Exactly as he intended. And now in over 20 states, there are Trump abortion bans, which make it criminal for a doctor or nurse to provide health care. In one state, it provides prison for life. Trump abortion bans that make no exception even for rape and incest, which understand what that means. A survivor of a crime of violation to their body does not have the right to make a decision about what happens to their body next. That is immoral. And one does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree. The government, and Donald Trump certainly, should not be telling a woman what to do with her body. I have talked with women around our country. You want to talk about this is what people wanted? Pregnant women who want to carry a pregnancy to term, suffering from a miscarriage, being denied care in an emergency room because the healthcare providers are afraid they might go to jail, and she's bleeding out in a car in the parking lot. She didn't want that. Her husband didn't want that. A 12 or 13-year-old survivor of incest being forced to carry a pregnancy to term. They don't want that. If you want to...
it's like Joe Biden floundered that one, and that's such an easy W for the Democrat side, and Kamala Harris just fucking destroyed him on that one. It was so just thank you Kamala, fucking hell.
Really know the inside track on who the former president is. If he didn't make it clear already, just ask people who have worked with him. His former chief of staff, a 4-star general, has said he has contempt for the Constitution of the United States. His former national security advisor has said he is dangerous and unfit.
Well, no, that's the thing. Like, Trump wants to make a big deal about, like, 9-month abortions, which are extremely fucking rare. Listen, a woman goes into a doctor's office 9 months pregnant and says, give me an abortion, with no other reason other than she changed her mind. It's one of those things where it's like, you're too late. Sorry. No. You know, I don't think anybody's really for that. But typically when an abortion comes in and it's that late, it's with a doctor and it's saying there's something medically severely wrong and it needs to happen. It needs to happen. And yeah, that's, if it's something medical, then it needs to happen. That's the thing that lots of people don't like to talk about. Abortion's a medical procedure. Lots of women just need it. So making it illegal is just insane.
His former Secretary of Defense has said the nation, the Republic...
She better not criminalize weed. That'd be awful. By the way, it's legal here in Ohio. I should probably get some weed sometime.
Would never survive another Trump term.
See, I'm a different kind of a person. I fired most of those people. Not so graciously. They did bad things or a bad job. I fired them. They never fired one person. They didn't fire anybody having to do with Afghanistan and the Taliban and the 13 people whose...
Yeah, well, yeah, Simo Studios, evidence of the post-pregnancy abortion. Yeah, I believe post-pregnancy abortion is called murder. So I think it's a weird that, yeah, he pretty much did frame it that way. It's like, that doesn't exist.
were just killed, viciously and violently killed, and I got to know the parents and the family. They didn't fire. They should have fired all those generals, all those top people, because that was one of the most incompetently handled situations anybody. I
think we'll see if they cover it, because I think how she addresses the Afghanistan thing was good, because she doesn't walk it back or anything. She just kind of says essentially what a lot of people have been saying. Afghanistan withdrawal was something that needed to happen. Obama didn't do it. Trump didn't do it. Because the problem is there's no clean way to do it. It's going to be messy. People are going to die. It's not going to be pretty. But we need to resolve this thing. We're over in this country that we shouldn't even be in, and we've been there for over, I don't even remember. It might have been 2 decades. We've been there for way too long. There's no end in sight. There's no solution to this other than just call it a day and pick up our things and get out as smoothly as possible. It was never going to be clean. And Biden, to his credit, I have lots of criticism of Biden, but to his credit, he said, you know what? I'm going to take a political hit for this, but we're going to do it. We're going to move out. And he took a political hit for it, but we got out of Afghanistan. That took balls, man. That took fucking balls. And honestly, Biden should be commended for that, not criticized for that.
Has ever seen. So when somebody does a bad job, I fire him.
This is someone who has openly said he would terminate, I'm quoting, terminate the Constitution of the United States, that he would weaponize the Department of Justice against his political enemies. Someone who has openly expressed disdain for members of our military. Understand what it would mean if Donald Trump were back in the White House with no guardrails.
I probably took a bullet to the head because of...
He just has to reference that. Fun fact, to my understanding, he didn't take a bullet to the head. A bullet hit some glass. So somebody did shoot at him. I want to make that clear. But to my understanding, bullet hit some glass and the glass hit his head.
The things that they say about me, they talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy
President
with a fake
Trump.
Russia investigation
We do have a lot
that went nowhere.
Well, I think this is so rich.
Yeah, something we now know Trump is saying that because he's friendly with Russia. Yeah, piracy. I don't see a good way to do the Afghanistan withdrawal. I don't. It's gonna be messy. You just gotta suck it up and do it. Yeah, and speed is kind of how you gotta do it. You can't do it slow. It's like ripping off a Band-Aid. You just gotta suck it up and take the hit. Yeah, I mean, I guess lots of people are saying they don't like how fast it was. I really feel like, you just gotta do it fast and call it a day. There's no doing it. I don't really see doing it slow and doing it effectively. Just like I said, you rip off the Band-Aid and you move on. It's not perfect. I'm not saying it was done perfectly, because it wasn't. It was a mess, but there's no other way to do it.
Coming from someone who has been prosecuted for national security crimes, economic crimes, election interference, has been found liable for sexual assault, and his next big court appearance is in November at his own criminal sentencing.
Look at what's going on in the Middle East. This would have never happened. I will get that settled and fast, and I'll get the war with Ukraine and Russia ended. If I'm president-elect, I'll get it done before even becoming president.
Vice President Harris, he says you hate Israel.
That's absolutely not true.
I thought did they skip over the dogs and cats thing? That'd be weird if they skipped that. We'll see. But I did think her answer on Israel was weak, but it was a hell of a lot better than his.
I have my entire career and life supported Israel and the Israeli people. He knows that. He's trying to, again, divide and distract from the reality, which is it is very well known that Donald Trump is weak and wrong on national security and foreign policy. It is well known that he admires dictators, wants to be a dictator on day one.
So Kamala Harris's stance on Israel is not super clear. She has criticized Netanyahu. I hope she ceasefire. We have to see. Because right now her stance is that she stands by what the Biden administration is doing, which I'm not thrilled with what the Biden administration is doing. That being said, she is the vice president to Biden. Kind of her job is to stand by him even if she disagrees. Does she disagree? Does she agree? We won't know unless she becomes president. And I hate saying that because I'd rather just know. But like I get, she's in a situation where she just got to stick by Biden. That's her job. That being said, Trump is just full-fledged supporting Israel unambiguously. Fuck the Palestinians. So it's like you either dice roll with Kamala or you just get fucked with Trump. So I would vote for the dice roll.
According to himself, it is well known that he said of Putin that he can do whatever the hell he wants and go into Ukraine. It is well known that he said when Russia went into Ukraine, it was brilliant.
He was putting that stuff on Truth Social about how he supported, how Putin did a great job in Ukraine.
It is well known he exchanged love letters with Kim Jong-un.
And comedian Dean has a good point. There's no presidential candidate that has a chance of winning that has a great stance on Israel-Palestine. There are differences between their stances. Between the two, Kamala Harris has a much better stance. At least Kamala Harris talked about a two-state solution. That's something. That is something.
And it is absolutely well known that these dictators and autocrats are rooting for you to be president again because they're so clear they can manipulate you with flattery and favors. And that is why so many military leaders who you have worked with have told me you are a disgrace. That is why we understand that we have to have a president who is not consistently weak and wrong on national security, including the importance of upholding and respecting in highest regard our military.
Vice President Harris, thank you.
I mean, she's able to hit that really hard because we just recently had that thing in Arlington, I want to say, cemetery, where he was literally taking photo shots for his campaign in a fucking veteran cemetery.
Vice President Harris slamming him for disrespecting sacred ground, all for the sake of a political stunt. She's calling the cemetery a solemn place and not a place for politics.
We lost 13 great people.
It's her first time weighing in after the Trump campaign posted this highlight video on TikTok showing the former president laying a wreath in honor of the service members killed during the chaotic military withdrawal from Afghanistan. A cemetery spokesperson said federal law prohibits campaign-related activities there.
That's a no-no, dude. And it was so fucking sleazy. It was gross.
They're the ones, and she's the one that caused it, that's weak on national security by allowing every nation last month for the year, 168 different countries sending people into our country. Their crime rates are way down. Putin endorsed her last week. Said, I hope she wins. And I think he meant it because what he's gotten away with is absolutely incredible. It wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, no way in hell. Yeah, Putin's paying for misinformation that helps you to go out there. But yeah, he hopes she wins. I'm sure.
Happened with me. The leaders of other countries think that they're weak and incompetent, and they are. They're grossly incompetent. And I just ask one question. Why does Biden go in and kill the Keystone Pipeline and approved the single biggest deal that Russia's ever made, Nord Stream 2, the biggest pipeline anywhere in the world going to Germany and all over Europe, because they're weak and they're ineffective.
I think it's interesting the clips they chose for that best of. It didn't include Trump's really bad blunders, which is kind of sus. Okay. God damn it. How many of these debate is there gonna be a debate highlight that actually has the big highlights?
Kamala.
We'll have to see. So there's a couple moments we definitely have to see. But what I want to say, see movie studios. I know we're not there yet, but thoughts on Kamala Harris saying she's a gun owner and Trump saying he disowns Project 2025. Kamala Harris being a gun owner, kind of expected. I think Tim Walz has said he's a gun owner. I think that's fine. I frankly don't. I think strong arguments can be made against certain types of guns being made pretty much illegal, but like I don't think guns in general should be made illegal. I mean, we have a Second Amendment. I'm not going to say I support blocking that, but I do support reasonable gun restrictions. I absolutely do. There's some basic gun restrictions that we just haven't been able to do, and it's very frustrating. As for Trump disavowing Project 2025, I can pretty much guarantee you Trump hasn't read Project 2025 and doesn't know what's in it. I can pretty much guarantee you that. However, he is I'm trying to think. He's kind of a blank slate for a lot of these guys. I think the best way to describe it. Trump, when he went into office, pretty much instituted a lot of what the Heritage Foundation gave him because they gave him a fuck ton of money in re-election. One of the questions I wish that was brought up since Project 2025 was brought up, I wish Kamala Harris had shot back with him. How much money are you taking from the Heritage Foundation? Because it doesn't really matter if he's read it or even knows what's in Project 2025. If the Heritage Foundation is funding him and they're going to be making a lot of the choices that he's going to stand behind, then Project 2025 is super fucking relevant. All right, let's see. Does this have okay, there's Kamala laughing. That might be okay, yeah. So there's the Marxist.
Everybody knows she's a Marxist. Her father's a Marxist professor in economics, and he taught her well. She gave up at least 12 and probably 14 or 15 different policies. Like, she was big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she went out. Wait a minute, I'm talking now. If you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar? They have abortion in the 9th month. They even have, and you can look at the governor of West Virginia, the previous governor of West Virginia, not the current governor, who's doing an excellent job, but the governor before, he said the baby will be born and we will decide what to do with the baby. In other words, we'll execute the baby.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born.
Every legal scholar wanted it to be brought back into the states, and the state.
Yeah, no, he really avoided eye contact. There's lots of moments I was seeing Kamala Harris looking at him and talking about him, and he is just like ignoring her. And it's like interesting. They were asked about their health care plan. Kamala Harris said, "I have health care plan here." It's not amazing. It's not single payer at all. But like, you know, hey, it's something. And then they were asked about, and then Trump essentially got the same question.
It's insulting to the women of America.
What we will do is we're looking at different plans. If we can come up with a plan that's going to cost our people, our population, less money and be better health care than Obamacare, then I would absolutely do it. But until then, I'd run it as good as it can be run.
So just a yes or no, you still do not have a plan?
I have concepts of a plan. I'm not president right now.
Dude was president for 4 years. This is his 3rd time running. You think he would have a health care plan? I'm just what? I have concepts of a plan. So yeah, that one's again meme to oblivion, and it should be. It should be. Okay, and then we'll talk a little bit about the rally thing.
Cause cancer, and what?
Because this is kind of honestly, it's a brilliant move by Kamala.
In the not too distant future.
I'm going to actually do something really unusual, and I'm going to invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies, because it's a really interesting thing to watch. You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom. And I will tell you, the one thing you will not hear him talk about is you. You will not hear him talk about your needs, your dreams, and your desires. And I'll tell you, I believe you deserve a president who actually puts you first, and I pledge to you that I will.
We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies in the history of politics. That's because people want to take their country back. Our country is being lost. We're a failing nation. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame.
I just want to clarify here. You bring up.
Okay, so there's a couple things go over there. Yeah, no, she did. So if you guys remember, what was the topic when she brought up the rallies, where she decided to do a diverge to the rallies? It was immigration. Immigration is polling-wise Trump's strongest subject, which is frustrating because I think his immigration policies are terrible. But it's where he polls the best at. So Kamala, during that, decides to talk about his rallies and talk about how people go to sleep, they're bored. Doesn't fucking matter if it's true. It's a complete side issue that has nothing to do with anything. Trump, if he's smart, might even say, hey, gee, like if he's smart, he might even recognize what she's doing and be like, hey, why are you talking about the rallies? The issue is immigration. We need to talk about immigration. You know, there's smart ways he could handle that, but no, his little ego can't handle it. And he's like, oh, we have the best rallies. Her rallies suck. My rallies are the best. Because I mean, that's the thing. I don't really think, I know if Trump's interested in being president, but he is interested in having rallies. And it is like, and he went for it, hook, line, and sinker. Because like the second it went back to him, he's like, oh, I gotta talk about the rallies. I gotta talk about the rallies. And he just went for it like an idiot. Like an idiot. It's like it, and you can see the look on Kamala's face where he just decides to where he's obviously replying, where it's like she realizes, oh, he literally just went for it, hook, line, and sinker. Like, really? I mean, that's one of those things. When you do debates, it's important to keep people stuck on an issue because they will try to sidetrack you. And all he showed is that he is so fucking easy to sidetrack. So fucking easy. Oh yeah, let's look at her face during the rally conversation, because it's the look of somebody who's like, oh, yeah.
Actually puts you first, and I pledge to you that I will.
We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies in the history of politics. That's because people want to take their country back. Our country...
That is the look of somebody who's like, you just went for it. I'm trying to play cool, but I can't believe you just went for it.
is being lost. We're a failing nation. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame.
All right. Oh, here. I think they have the correction. We'll go over the correction. Then we're going to go over this claim, because this claim, you'll be shocked to hear this. This claim is super fucking racist.
I just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
We're going to learn a bit about that, because I'm not going to lie. When I heard that, I was just like, the fuck are you talking about? I think it's worth knowing. So I'm in Ohio. So, like, I'm not super far. Like, I'm a couple hours away from Springfield's not super close to me, but it's a couple hours away. But like, you would think if they're eating dogs and cats, I probably would have, I don't know, heard of that.
Today, the small city of Springfield, Ohio, found itself at the center of a fraught election year issue, immigration. Republican vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance claims that Haitian migrants in Springfield are, quote, draining social services and causing chaos. He's also repeated a baseless rumor, already debunked by city officials, about pets being abducted and eaten, a story amplified by right-wing media and Elon Musk online.
Over the last 4 years, Springfield has seen its small population grow by over 20%, driven almost entirely by immigrants. William Brangham recently went to Springfield to understand how the city is coping.
The sounds of Haitian Creole carrying across soccer fields, in grocery stores, in restaurants, dishing up the popular Haitian street food pâté codé. It's striking, hearing all this in the heartland of the United States, Springfield, Ohio. Springfield's a small...
No, Jacob, this is not the Springfield of Simpsons. Springfield, I'm thinking an early season of The Simpsons, they said it was Springfield, Illinois. But ever since then, they've been trying to avoid naming a state for like decades. They've been avoiding naming a state because it's just Springfield. Because there's like, I think every state in the United States pretty much has a Springfield, with very few exceptions. So it's any one of them.
Blue-collar city with a familiar story. Much of the factory work left decades ago, and the residents followed. A community of more than 80,000 emptied out to less than 60. That is, until the last few years.
Our churches, we see new people.
In the pews?
Yes, absolutely.
Wes Babian was the pastor at First Baptist Church for almost 20 years.
For years, we've lost people, but you hope somebody else will come and take their place. That hasn't happened here.
Until now.
Because there are folks from Haiti who are coming to church.
Lukens Merzus, who, among his many other jobs, mans the soundboard for Sunday services, is one of those new Haitian...
I'm mainly just going to watch this because I think this is informative. But after this, I'm going to show you someone else, the documentary shared by someone else. And we will dive into it, and you'll be able to see a clear difference between an actual documentary and shit the other person is sharing.
Members.
Why Springfield?
Of all places. Merzus, with his wife and daughter, were among the first Haitian families to arrive here in 2018.
I got a decent job when I was in Haiti, and then to make a difficult decision to leave, it wasn't easy.
The reason they left is their home country is disintegrating. Protests and increasing violence in the Caribbean nation culminated in the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse in 2021. Since then, the country spiraled. Armed gangs currently control 80% of the capital, Port-au-Prince. Merzus is one of the
the Haitians have it rough. When they come to the United States, and they've been able to find a bad place in Springfield.
Estimated 731,000 Haitian immigrants now living in the United States.
I got my brothers and sisters. My mother is still living there. I'm always thinking about my family in Haiti.
Because of that violence, the U.S. granted what's called temporary protected status to Haitians in the U.S., giving them limited time permission to live and work here. TPS was then expanded by the Biden administration. Merzus says he came to Springfield for the same reason most Haitians did. He heard that housing was cheap and jobs were plentiful.
What started slowly, we had an application pool.
I haven't really looked at Laura Loomer, but yes, I have seen her. She seems a little insane. I hate to judge this, but like her face, I hate doing the physical thing, but like just how she looks. She looks like she's like 60 years old and had a bunch of facelifts. And she's like 30. And I hate to be like so superficial like that. But when I first saw her, I actually assumed she was just an older woman just doing a whole bunch of facelifts. But here, I will show you what I mean. I know this is purely superficial, but like that is Laura Loomer. She's I think I looked up, she's 31 years old. And I'm like, what the fuck? And you know what? I will go ahead and apologize immediately if, like, maybe she was in a car wreck or something like that happened. But, like, it just looks strange, right? Right? Or if somehow that's natural, I apologize. But, like, it's what the fuck? Yeah, it looks like plastic surgery. And she is way too young to be doing that shit. Piers Morgan sucks. Anyways, I don't like doing superficial judgment calls like that, but like, man, what the hell?
That was a little bit different.
People coming to work here.
People looking for jobs. What he's welding here again are welded axle components.
Jamie McGregor is the CEO of McGregor Metal, which makes welded parts for the auto and farm industries. Right now, about 10% of his workforce is Haitian, over 30 employees.
I wish I had 30 more. Our Haitian associates come to work every day. They don't have a drug problem. They'll stay at their machine. They'll achieve their numbers. They are here to work. And so in general, that's a stark difference from what we're used to in our community.
McGregor acknowledges the sudden...
Yeah, I kind of want to go over that because, like, what he says there is kind of like, I see what he's saying, but like,
And so in general, that's a stark difference from what we're used to in our community.
McGregor acknowledges...
Oh, we didn't. Okay, maybe it comes in later. Never
the
mind.
sudden arrival...
Oh, wait, or maybe I didn't go back far enough. Here we go.
30 more. Our Haitian associates come to work every day. They don't have a drug problem. They'll stay at their machine. They'll achieve their numbers. They are here to work. And so in general, that's a stark difference from what we're used to in our community.
Yeah, no, it feels weird to me. It's like, guys, they're good labor. It's like, they're human beings. Everybody's human beings.
McGregor acknowledges the sudden arrival of so many new immigrants is a challenge on multiple fronts. But he believes this is partly how the...
I don't want to stress, I don't think that guy's being malicious. He's just looking at it from a very, employer point of view. I don't think he's being malicious. I just think it just comes off very, these people are very useful. It's like, they're human beings looking for a home.
Industrial Midwest can regrow.
We want more jobs in our community. And in order to fill those jobs, some jobs need to be people who are not originally from.
And that's the thing. So, like, Springfield is a town that's struggling, but, like, they have this influx of Haitians coming in. We'll go over it, but, like, I think they're about ready to get some sort of boom going on because there's got to be a result to all this influx of people coming in and getting work done.
From here.
There's things in the last 5 years that have really changed and has been a forward improvement for Springfield, but this is taxing the resources of the city. Well, afterwards.
Springfield's mayor, Rob Rue.
And that confuses me as well, because it's like, dude, you got an influx of people there. You're taxing the resources of the city. Then what are you, like, I feel like, what are you doing wrong? More people there should be, like, more income. You should be doing better. If there's an influx of people and you can't figure it out. What? I mean, that's what cities want. You want more people coming in, right? You should be prepared for that.
Rue says he was cautiously optimistic when the first Haitians settled in town.
I agree, Nicholas. I mean, the United States was meant... The dream of the United States is as the melting pot. We will take you're tired, you're sick, all the spiel, the Statue of Liberty, and it's supposed to be, you come here. You need a home, we'll give you a home. That's supposed to be the dream of the United States. And I think we've been lacking on that. But Haitians are coming here, they want a home. That sounds wonderful. We should do what we can.
But then their numbers quickly rose. The city estimates 12 to 15,000 Haitians are here now.
The infrastructure of the city, our safety forces, our hospitals, our schools. Springfield is...
And I will say, maybe to defend this guy a bit, because I think his stance on, oh man, it's taxing us. Yes, I'm sure it is, but you're going to get an influx. So in his defense, maybe he's not really thinking of it overall. And right now you're at the middle pay. He's in like this influx period where they're getting tons of people, and he hasn't really been able to prepare anything for it. That can get rough, but give it time. Things will eventually even out, and Springfield will be better for it.
A close community and has a big heart, but at the same point, we've had this influx that has taxed all these services.
The number of students needing English language help has quadrupled in 5 years. Translators at the local health center cost hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And last year was the busiest year on record for the fire department. But it seemed that for the community at large, the increase in immigration and its stresses largely flew under the radar. A lot of that changed last August. It was the very first day of school, and a school bus full of kids was coming down this road. A driver coming in the other direction came around that bend, said he was blinded by the sun. He clipped the bus, and the bus ended up in this ditch.
We begin with breaking news. Right now, multiple law enforcement agencies are on the scene of a deadly school bus crash.
Dozens of children were injured, and 11-year-old Aiden Clark died. When the driver was revealed to be a Haitian immigrant without a U.S. license, things erupted.
The majority of the Haitians here are low-skilled and they're illiterate.
I want to know who's bossing them in, who's responsible for that, and who can stop them from coming.
Our concerns don't have anything to do with racism. They have to do with lack of affordable housing.
For the past few months, Springfield resident and former journalist William Monaghan has been a fixture at City Commission meetings. He helps run a Facebook group that's become a clearinghouse for locals' concerns about the Haitians, where people complain about
That looks cringe.
about everything from reckless driving to higher rents.
Do you shop in Springfield? No. Do you drive the streets of Springfield? No. Do you consider that Springfield is your home? No. Are your kids safe in school? No.
They're talking about, I got kicked out of my house because the rent went way up. My insurance has gone way up. I don't feel safe
Rent going way up is nationwide.
in the stores anymore, with maybe a couple exceptions. It's never a race issue, but they want to make it sound like a racial issue so they can demonize us.
Well, when you make it specifically, when you're blaming the Haitians, like, how many Haitian landlords are there? Yeah, I bet you, like, possibly none or very little. They're just people coming into the city, and you're getting upset because other things are happening because they're coming into the city. Blame the problem, not the thing. Like, you're blaming the symptom and not the problem. And the symptom ends up looking pretty racist.
And ignore our concerns, but these are valid concerns.
I have the same fears that you as mom and dads and grandma and grandpas and aunts and uncles have.
I won't say this is a Haitian crisis, this is an immigrant crisis. It's the fact that we have so many people here and we have a culture clash.
Mayor Rue says reckless driving is an issue. But there's been no uptick in crime related to the immigrant population. But with so many new arrivals, he says, the city needs help bolstering basic infrastructure.
We say we need help basically for translation services and safety forces. That's what we're looking at. Our hospitals need reinforcement.
In the meantime, local nonprofits like St. Vincent de Paul have stepped in. Here, people learn how to apply for jobs and how to navigate the city's computer system.
It's really important that when you file applications with immigration, that you
A translator and a local lawyer helped this woman with her visa application. In a building across town, Vilas Dorsonville runs a support center that helps Haitians integrate into American life. He understands why so many new arrivals into an established community can create conflict.
They have the right to express themselves because we are living in a free speech world, whether it is from the Haitian side who are trying to fight jobs and opportunities, whether it is from the locals who are complaining because too many people are coming here. It's human being. We are expressing ourselves the way we feel, but at the end of the day, we have to fight our way out to live together.
But he says many Haitians would also return home if the violence subsided. Do you hope one day to go back to Haiti?
Yeah, hopefully. I can't wait, hopefully, to go back to Haiti because I'm dreaming Haiti.
Dreaming Haiti, meaning at night while you're dreaming, you're there.
Yeah, I'm there.
So, yeah, it sounds like they're not having a great time in Springfield if they're dreaming of Haiti. because Haiti is rough right now.
So still working, still trying to integrate, and then facing with challenges all the time in the U.S., but I'm also dreaming of my country.
For now, the residents of Springfield, old and new, will continue writing the latest complicated chapter in the story of immigration in America. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm William Brangham in Springfield, Ohio.
So yeah, that is the story. That is why Trump, essentially there's the false narrative that Haitians are stealing dogs and cats and eating them, and J.D. Vance signal boosted that, and Trump repeated it at the rally. And it has no basis in reality. There are zero reports that happens. But you know what? Let's show you a quick. We're not going to go over the whole thing because, oh my God, I couldn't go over the whole thing. But here's a documentary from the other side. This was something shared by Benny Johnson. Now, if you're not sure who Benny Johnson is, he's somebody who streams of, Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker a lot. He is also somebody who was named as one of the Russian assets recently. He absolutely was taking money from Russia to be part of Tenet Media. And he shared this. ABC News, there's no evidence of migrants eating pet. YouTuber, here's 30 minutes of firsthand accounts of residents in Springfield where many people who live there say their pets are disappearing. Then it's let's talk about climate. So let's see if we can find that. All right. So here is the documentary that.
Me, you sorry, saying.
There was Haitian.
So here's the documentary that Benny Johnson shared.
In a white van driving around the neighborhoods, collecting cats, skinning them and eating them.
In my opinion, they're worthless. Bunch of worthless sayings.
They're getting thousands of dollars in government assistance, even the cash assistance cards. They're calling them the magic money cards because they never run out.
Managers are nothing but a headache. All they're doing is raising our rent and our taxes and wrecking vehicles.
Everybody wants to make this into a race issue. It's not a race issue. It's culture, it's accountability, and it's respect.
Since June, they took me off of, I'm a vet. They took me off of the disability.
You're a veteran and you're competing with some of the research.
And you might be like, wow, there's lots of racism in this. Is he showing how racist they are? But the fact is he's framing it as if these are just the normal people. These are, he's obviously framing it this is the normal people. These are just the concerned voices, guys. And it's this is very racist. You realize that, right?
Resources they're getting just came in here?
Yeah.
I need some solutions. I'm losing my mind.
This is Springfield, Ohio. What was once a small town in Ohio, home to roughly 60,000 working-class Americans, until 20,000 plus Haitian immigrants flooded into town with rumors of them eating the neighbors' cats and local geese.
What did you do? Why'd you kill the cat? Did you eat that cat? Did you eat it? No, why'd you kill it?
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets.
And causing car accidents left and right, and driving locals out of their homes by paying above-market rental prices with welfare subsidized by the American taxpayer. Are these Haitians eating cats? How did they travel 2,000 plus miles from Haiti all the way to Ohio? And do the locals and their new Haitian neighbors get along? I pulled up to Springfield myself to see if this was real or overblown fake news.
A lot of this is alleged because I truly don't know what's going on, and neither does Twitter. Twitter is relying off of a few images and a few Reddit threads.
Okay, that tells you something immediately. He's researching stuff and he's like, let's look up Twitter. Let's see what Twitter says. Okay, when you're researching stuff, your first stop shouldn't be fucking Twitter. The only reason you should use Twitter for your research if you're trying to look up something very specific somebody said on it. That's it. That's where your investigation starts and ends when it becomes to Twitter. You don't look for a story on Twitter, for fuck's sake.
And there are rumors that Haitians are taking neighbors' cats and eating them. Are you from Haiti by chance? Does everyone get along here in Springfield?
Yes.
Good?
Good. Motherfuckers are worthless. Bunch of worthless saying. Yeah.
When did the Haitian neighbors come and move here?
I'm going to say probably 5 months ago.
Okay. I spoke to a few of them in French.
They're everywhere. They're up there. Don't wave at me, you sorry saying. I tell them like it is. Man, I don't like them. I don't like them, and I want them to know I don't like them. Pack up. And move back to Haitieville, where the fuck you're from.
Why did you come here to Springfield?
In Springfield.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna dive too far into this. This is racist. This is like some sort of weird attempt of trying to do it. And I'm going to assume Benny Johnson's correct, where here's 30 minutes of firsthand accounts of residents in Springfield where many people live say their pets are disappearing. Yeah, it's gross. And yeah. So yeah, in case you're wondering, we're a little while away from the debate now, but like, yeah. So Trump and his big old claim here.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame.
I just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Crime here is up.
So yeah, it's super racist.
And through the roof, despite their fraudulent statements that they made, crime in this country is through the roof. And we have a new form of crime. It's called migrant crime. And it's happening at levels that nobody thought possible.
President Trump, as you know, the FBI says overall violent crime is actually coming down in this country.
Well, I think this is so rich coming from someone who has been prosecuted for national security crimes, economic crimes, election interference, has been found liable for sexual assault, and his next big court appearance is in November at his own criminal sentencing. Understand, this is someone who has openly said he would terminate, I'm quoting, terminate the Constitution of the United States, that he would weaponize the Department of Justice against his political enemies.
This is the one that weaponized, not me. She weaponized. I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me. They talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy.
In the past couple of weeks leading up to this debate, you have said, quote, you lost by a whisker, that you, quote, didn't quite.
Ooh, yes, and we will get into this because I haven't even gotten to the gaslighting aspect of this because that's big and I definitely want to discuss it.
Make it that you came up a little bit short.
I said that?
Are you now acknowledging that you lost in 2020?
No, I don't acknowledge that at all.
But
I
you
said
did
that
say
sarcastically.
That.
You know that. It was said, oh, we lost by a whisker. That was said sarcastically.
Vice President Harris, you heard the president there tonight. He said he didn't say that he lost by a whisker. So he still believes he did not lose the election that was won by President Biden and yourself. But I do want to ask you about something that's come up in the last couple of days. This was a post from President Trump about this upcoming election just weeks away. He said, when I win, those people who cheated, and then he lists donors, voters, election officials, he says will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, which will include long-term prison sentences. One of your campaign's top lawyers responded saying, we won't let Donald Trump intimidate us. We won't let him suppress the vote. Is that what you believe he's trying to do here?
Donald Trump was fired by 81 million people. So let's be clear about that. And clearly he is having a very difficult time processing that.
So that's the debate highlights. We went over a decent amount of it, but as you can kind of see, Kamala Harris kind of destroyed him. Kind of clear cut. It wasn't really ambiguous at all. But for some reason, if you ask a lot of people right now, they'll be telling you Trump won, which is really, 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 really confusing. All right, so we got DDayCobra up here, Jeremy Griggs of Geeks and Gamers. Let's kind of look over what his post-debate stuff says.
And they're destroying our country. The worst president, the worst vice president in the history of our country.
President
Boom.
Trump, thank
He
you.
just
And that is our
crushed it.
ABC News presidential
I gotta
debate
tweet
from
that out
here in
right
Philadelphia
now.
at the National Constitution Center.
That was-
I'm Lindsay Davis.
And I'm David
That
Muir. Thank you for
was
watching here in the U.S.
A perfect thing to end on, and that will be the thing that he leaves everybody with is, why haven't you done it? I was wondering why he didn't say that at all during the debate tonight. I was like,
He
why
just
is it-
walks off like a Chad.
Yeah, boy, that's our boy right there. Oh my goodness, he crushed right there.
How did he
That was
walk
it
off?
right there. A massive dub. So look, okay, overall on the night, Trump man, Trump he had to fight 3 different people. He had to fight debaters. He had to fight the fact that she already had the answers to the questions.
Based on what knowledge? You know, what I saw, actually, there was a point where you can see her kind of developing her argument. I think it was during her closing statement where you can see what she's choosing to end on. You can actually see, because at first she's a little bit stumbly, and then when she figures it out, she gets it all out. But like, they're like, oh, she has the answers, and I don't think she had the answers. I think she researched what she'd probably be asked and had some answers lined up, but I don't think she had like new forewarning, like he's implying.
I mean, this is insane, but this is where we are. So now the question is how do the optics play? And I think the optics are going to be absolutely horrific. There's no point in listening to ABC right now.
No.
But
a handshake. And if you look,
Harris. What's up, good debate? Thank you.
I mean, wait a moment. First of all, because we hadn't seen a handshake. We haven't seen a handshake in a long time. You're talking about the handshake? Come on,
Talking
man.
about the like the
Why don't
really
you ask her
really
what kind of gun does Kamala own?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's do that fact check. Number 2.
Oh yes, the big questions. What type of gun does she own? For fuck's sake, really?
Why did she not answer the simple yes or no question? Did she ever meet Putin? That's
Dude, I can't believe what we just witnessed. I can't believe what we just witnessed and how bad it was.
Now all of a sudden they're concerned about whether or not she met Putin when Trump has been meeting with Putin. He admitted that.
That was the most rigged election. Rigged presidential debate we've ever seen. Now, if you just go to my timeline, I've been retweeting everybody, okay? Because everybody's stalling. There's Tulsi. The debate was 3 versus 1. The ABC moderators clearly shilling.
God, Tulsi's so fucking disappointing. I liked her for a little bit, but man, she's just awful.
For Kamala Harris. Megyn Kelly,
Megyn Kelly's always been awful.
Pile on against Trump is so bad and so obvious this will backfire. Megyn Kelly, the absolute gall of ABC to keep fact-checking only Trump while letting her lie in every answer is infuriating. Trump won. ABC moderators didn't even hide their biased bullshit. Don't stop calling them out. Don't stop. Clay Travis, ABC's rig job is the story here. This is like a game when an
this is all conspiracy theory crap, man.
Obvious and clear officiating error is the primary.
Yeah, it was rigged, but Trump won. Well, wait, what?
Primary story of the game. It's all going to be. It's all that's going to be talked.
Yeah, Vivek Ramaswamy, Matt Walsh, Charlie Kirk.
About 100%. Vivek says this is an interesting.
Ben Shapiro, yeah, Jeremy, great lineup of retweets. Great work. These aren't unbelievably fringe right-wing figures at all. These are just the centrist voices of the people, right?
Debate format 3-on-1. Matt Walsh, ironically, the moderators are winning this debate for Trump by being so insanely lopsided and biased against him.
That's what I think.
They are now the story of the night, which is a win for Trump. Charlie Kirk, did you really think they were going to give Trump a fair debate? Trump got shot on July 13th and is now a drive-by shooting on September 10th. Ben Shapiro, ABC's moderators are a disgrace to their profession. Clay Travis.
I do think it's wild. They're talking about like ABC doing fact checks as being biased. They're fucking fact checks. They're fact checks. Trump did a lot of lying up there. And to my understanding, they missed most of them. But they just got him on a few because, yeah, he did it a fucking lot.
ABC is finished. I've never seen anything like this. Just allowing Kamala to lie. Like, it's just crazy, bro. So, Donald Trump Jr., weird how the hack moderator.
Donald Trump Jr., unbiased source. Good job. Good.
Moderators at ABC are only fact-checking Trump and allowing Kamala to lie. And, of course, the fake news is the enemy. So, man.
So they're really pushing the whole fake news thing. Let's see. Does he get to that? I want to see, because he does share a poll, which is just almost hilarious. Oh.
Do not come.
I'm gonna do it.
Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
The fuck edit is this?
Bigly is a bigly win.
Bigly. Yeah, Trump won 100%. And he won again. I will repeat.
Well, I mean, Trump says he won, so therefore he won, right? Ignore all the floundering he did. He had concepts of a win, guys.
What I said. Under the circumstances of 3v1 and how obvious it was and how much of an easy path she had, and she still didn't say anything of substance. And Trump stood there and handled it and fought and stood his ground and stood tall. And I do like the language that Patrick Bet David put. He sounded like an angry patriot fighting for his country. That's that's what he did.
But you're
my God, lots of coke going on. Let's see.
I do have breaking news, Jay. This is what we all been waiting for, Jay. Taylor Swift has endorsed Kamala Harris for president on Instagram.
Well, it's over now.
Everything is coordinated. They have been waiting for this moment to control the narrative. That is what this was for. This is all part of the plan.
It's over.
What? Taylor Swift gives her endorsement, which people saw coming a mile away. Let's be serious. And it's all part of the plan? What the fuck? Like, this is conspiracy brain shit. And I want to be honest, I don't think Jeremy is conspiracy brained. I think he is courting a conspiracy brained audience. That they're training to be conspiracy brained.
Over.
All
it was
part
a
of
good
the
run.
plan.
Trump, it was a good run.
Yep.
The Swifties have spoken.
Good Lord. What a freaking clown
And she's holding
show.
a cat. If you want your cat safe, you shouldn't be voting for Kamala. Why are you holding a cat?
Jesus.
I don't expect anything. You want to know what's crazy though? I will give.
You know, they watch debate. I want to see their live reaction when he does that cat thing. What's the look on their face? Just like when he goes off the rails with that shit.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
He
this
brought
is
it.
what's happening in our country, and it's a shame. As far as
So they're deep in this conspiracy too, obviously. So obviously they were familiar with it, and well, Jeremy is a bit harder to read. I think Jeremy kind of knows optically that's not great, and he's kind of hiding it. Drunk 3PO seems to honestly think that was a W. It's so bizarre. Oh my God, these people aren't just such a weird. They're weird. It's a weird fucking bubble. A weird bubble. Now I also want to go over Trump after the debate.
How do you feel about the night? 105 minutes long. You've done this before. I think your 8th one. What is your review of your performance?
Well, I looked at the poll numbers. I listened to Harold Ford. I don't know what he was watching because I think he wasn't watching the debate that I was in yesterday. I think we did great. It was 3-1. It was a rigged deal, as I assumed it would be, because when you looked at the fact that they were correcting everything and not correcting with
Yeah, it's almost like you were saying lots of bullshit.
her. And we knew it when it was 100% good coverage for her over the last month or last year. I looked at it, and only bad coverage of me, no matter what. The press is so dishonest in this country, it's amazing. Now, I didn't mind because, frankly, I was pretty sure that's what they would do. CNN was much more honorable. The debate we had with Biden was a much more honorably run debate, but this was incredible. I mean, everything, so many things I said were debunked, totally debunked, like Charlottesville, I have a list of 7 different things, and she could say anything she wanted, everything. Every time I spoke, and my stuff was right, they'd correct you. I thought it was terrible from the standpoint of ABC. They're the most dishonest, in my opinion, the most dishonest news organization.
So yeah, it's all about shitting on ABC and how he did such a great job. He was winning hardcore, obviously, and it's all gaslighting at this point. They're all talking about how great Trump did, and I want to bring up a great tweet from Kyle Klinsky, who I don't always agree with, but I don't know. I probably agree with him more than I disagree with him by a decent margin. But he's doing way better than Young Turks. I remember Secular Talk and Young Turks used to be big ones I would watch regularly. But anyways, he had this tweet, and it's 100% factual. Just to be clear, every single person saying Trump won the debate is lying. They are liars, and they know they're lying. Saying Trump won the debate is as stupid as saying Biden won the last debate when his brain was leaking out his ear. This is true. Biden did terrible. And Trump did terrible 2 nights ago. So that's a great tweet. But like, that's seriously what's going on. So like, they're gaslighting the whole idea that like Trump won. I guess I imagine most people know what gaslighting is, but essentially gaslighting is just lying over and over and over again until you start thinking, oh, maybe that's true. The idea is just pushing it over and over again and just getting people go, oh, maybe that's true. They're gaslighting the idea that Trump won this thing, even though he lost terribly. And it can be fairly easy to fall into gaslighting, because I actually stumbled across an instance where someone is essentially gaslighting, and we have a famous leftist essentially falling for it, saying, oh, I think they have a good point. Only to find out, no, they didn't. And let me pull this up. It's Sam Cedar, Megyn Kelly losing her mind over the debate moderators.
CNN's Harry Enton with polling.
And we're going to skip ahead a bit to where they play the clip of Megyn Kelly here, because that's important. And FYI, Sam Cedar's pretty awesome. I recommend his stuff if you're looking for a good, reasonable YouTube news outlet.
Because those 2 moderators tried to sink Donald Trump tonight.
And that seems to be the big narrative they're pushing about how the moderators actually beat Trump, even though Trump still won. Yeah.
The numerous fact checks on what he said and none on what she said. None. I don't remember a single fact check of anything she said, and she lied repeatedly. She just got away with it. In the moderator's eyes, that was Donald Trump's job to fact check her. That's correct. Except you didn't employ that same tactic when it came to Trump. And you accused him of lying even when it was your opinion that he lied. When Trump tried to say that his comment that he lost 2020 by a whisker was him being sarcastic, David Muir actually injected saying, I didn't hear sarcasm. Who gives a shit what you heard?
Whoa.
And I will say, when I first heard this clip, I was like, I guess maybe she has a point. What? Maybe he should inject that. Maybe, who knows? Who can read his actual intention? But let's get into this.
Who died and left you political analyst in chief? You're supposed to be the objective news anchor of World News Tonight. That's a comment you make to your significant other, David, not on the debates. It didn't sound like that to me. Shut up. That is inappropriate. It's not for you to make that call. Leave it up to Kamala Harris. Leave it up to people like me who will play the soundbite and let the audience decide. But you were out of line, and they did it to him over and over and over again. And the worst piece of all of this is the obvious tactic by ABC News, which was as follows. Mr. Trump, you said something incredibly controversial and terrible. Let me remind you of what it was. Do you have any regrets or thoughts on how terrible you were? Trump answers. Vice President Harris, how bad is Trump? And then she'd answer. It happened.
I do think that's interesting because, no, they did actually ask her a lot of direct questions, and she didn't always have a good answer. Trump consistently had worse answers, but let's face it, she did have plenty of good answers too. Trump, I don't recall having any good answers. Kamala Harris had good answers and bad answers. And I noticed, like, it's all about gaslighting, that it was 3 versus 1 and that Trump really won. And it's not actually about criticizing where Kamala Harris did have bad answers.
Over and over again.
So, I mean, this is just incredible to see because there was a whole freaking movie made about Bombshell, about the sexual harassment at Fox News and her being victimized by it, and like her basically being forced out because she was adversarial to Trump and because of the fact that she ended up speaking out about what Roger Ailes did to her and other women as well. But the reality is like there's no place for her to go anymore. Yeah. Like there's nothing. She tried to pivot to daytime TV. Right. But if you recall, she like got, she left Fox News. She was on the Today Show, I think.
Yep.
And she sucked because that's like that Hoda and those women and stuff. That's for like making people happy and showing videos of cats. And or what recipe you should do for Halloween or whatever. And she is a cold person who also is a bigot and ended up leaving that network because she's made a bunch of past racist comments about Santa being white or whatever. Like she's a right winger, but she tried to pivot and failed, and now there's no place where she can carve out that middle ground, right?
Now she's just taking Tim Pool.
I think it is noteworthy. She's running defense for the guy who Trump was the one saying she's bleeding everywhere. Who knows where she's bleeding from? Something like that. It was pretty fucking terrible.
Talk about Megyn Kelly, because you brought her up. She did pushed a lot of people, but what is it with you and Megyn Kelly?
Well, I just don't respect her as a journalist. I have no respect for her. I don't think she's very good. I think she's highly overrated. But when I came out there, what am I doing? I'm not getting paid for this. I go out there and, they start saying, lift up arm if you're going to, I didn't know there'd be 24 million people. I figured, but I knew it was going to be a big crowd because I get big crowds. I get ratings. They call me the ratings machine. So I have, she gets out and she starts asking me all sorts of ridiculous questions. And, you could see there was blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her wherever.
Honestly, she's got to interview Dave Rubin multiple times. That I'm not sure anybody deserves that.
I mean, yeah, she's doing.
She flopped, and then she just has to be a standard Republican now because there's no way to differentiate yourself here. She's sucked back into the Trump black hole because she has to make money.
I think that she may have a point with Muir saying
Sam saying exactly what I was thinking watching that clip. She might have a point about Muir. Maybe he shouldn't be injecting his thoughts into that. But, that's how the gaslighting works. You think, oh, you know what? That sounds maybe we don't know if it's sarcasm, maybe, but watch.
Didn't sound sarcastic to me. I think really what would have been more appropriate for him to go like, really? Really?
I'll be honest, I just watched it and it did not sound sarcastic to me.
Well, do you have it? Let's put it up. Let's let the people decide. Because of course, saying it's sarcastic, I guess if you're Muir, you could have said, in what way is that sarcastic? I don't get it.
Yeah.
But here is the original clip.
Oh, I see. Yes, sorry. At a Moms for Liberty event.
I mean, honestly, we got millions of more votes than we did in the first election. We did great in the first one, we won. And I was told we got 63 million votes in the first election. I was told if we get 63 million votes, same number, there's no way we can be defeated. I got 10 or 12 million votes more than that, more than anybody had ever gotten. We got the most votes of anybody, of any sitting president in history. And he beat us by a whisker. And it was a terrible thing. They used COVID to nominally. I mean,
so not a hint of sarcasm in that. So they get you thinking, oh, maybe David Muir really should have said that. They got you nuanced thinking about David Muir. Oh, maybe he should have said it this way. Maybe he should have said that way. Yeah, maybe he shouldn't have done that. When the fact is, he's 100% correct. In the live format, he probably handled it as well as you could expect. Trump said something, you watch the clip, unambiguously, that was not sarcasm, but Trump's trying to frame it like sarcasm. It is so telling, and it's like how the gaslighting works. How like they'll get like a little like tinge of thought in your head, and you think, oh, maybe there's a good point there, and then you do a little bit of research and you realize, oh my fucking god, it's complete fucking bullshit, and that's why it's frustrating, and that's why I kind of just wanted to wrap up on the idea that just let everybody know that this whole push to say that Kamala Harris somehow lost is pure fucking cope, because she won pretty unambiguously. She absolutely fucking won. Like I said, I have my critiques of Kamala Harris's performance, but somehow all these right-wing MAGA guys don't even touch that and just scream 3 versus 1, but Trump won anyway, where he definitely fucking didn't. And it is very, very frustrating. But it's pure gaslighting. They have to almost lie about reality, because if they actually accept reality, they would have to accept that their dude is a criminal, a rapist, a con man, and a real overall piece of shit. If they were being honest with themselves, they would realize that. And frankly, I am hoping, I don't think it will be, but what needs to happen is obviously Trump needs to lose, but it needs to be a clear-cut, resolute, absolute fucking sweep. Frankly, the Republican Party, as it stands right now, needs fucking buried and destroyed. I don't know how else to say it. That's just it. It needs destroyed. It needs dismantled. If we're only going to have a two-party system, we need one of those parties to actually have ideas and be fucking functional. And that's not what the Republicans are right now. And that's how come even when Joe Biden was still in the race, you have people like me saying, hey, I'm still voting for Joe Biden because he's better than fucking Trump, because he still fucking is. Even though he's way too fucking old to be in that office, it's like, what the fuck choice do we have? That's how come the Republican Party just needs gutted and reformed. I don't know what else to do with it. Because this MAGA shit, it just, not only is it bad, because, I mean, if you look at, it's bad from their perspective, because hopefully they can't win anymore with it. Hopefully, crossing my fucking fingers. But it's bad just from a general, like, I want the world to be better, because when you're literally running against people saying they're going to become a dictator, what policy positions do you need to argue at that point? It is frustrating. It is very, very frustrating. But yes, do not listen to the gaslighting. Do not listen to the lies. Kamala Harris won that debate pretty fucking soundly. And that is, I guess that's the end of my rant. Like and subscribe. Yeah, I was way more political today than I normally am, but hey, you know, the debate was kind of a big deal. And I think it's important to establish that, yeah, there's serious fucking gaslighting going on. It's intense.
Books, records, films, these things matter. Call me shallow. It's the fucking truth.